The Greek word John is using for word is logos. Logos is the kind of word that beret-wearing, cigarette-holding, pseudo-intellectual college students would sit around and talk about while smoking weed as an abstract intellectual principle. When we talk about the teachings of Plato, particularly about Platonic dualism, we're talking about the idea of forms and types. A type is a specific thing, and the world of types is the world of physical instances. So if we're talking about a specific chair, for instance, the one you might be sitting on right now is a type of chair. And the world of forms, that other world, is the world of perfection. It is the world of the essence of things. It's the world of the logos, of the abstract principle of word and of forms. So when you think about a chair, your mind immediately gets what a chair is. A complete definition of what a chair is and all of the million variations of what a chair looks like together comprise the form chair. So when John uses the word logos, he is saying the essence of the word is not separate from real life, like types were separate from real life, but that there is only one reality. So instead of talking about two realities, he says there's only one reality, the reality you can see, the dirty, earthy, hoeing, farming, carpentry stuff, and the reality of forms, the spiritual, hocus-pocus, touchy-feely, spooky stuff. And in fact, they're the same. The same reality is embodied in Jesus Christ, who is the Word made flesh. You now have Jews and Greeks and North African theologians arguing about what this means. Their interpretation of this passage of Scripture is shaped and defined Christian doctrine for all time. Jesus Christ brings all these things together because when God became man, we could no longer separate what is spiritual form from what is earthly. Now, I think in each of us, regardless of our religious background, there are a couple of universal appreciations. Donald E. Brown from Harvard wrote a book called Human Universals, in which he gives his theory that there are over 200 things everybody on the planet appreciates, regardless of their culture. If you find some tribe in the middle of nowhere who has never been cross-culturally exposed, we can reasonably assert that there are at least 200 things they will hold in common with someone in the most populous section of New York City or India or anywhere else on the planet. Now, this, of course, is a very incomplete lesson on Platonic thought. My aim here is not to educate you as you're watching this about Plato, but simply to place the New Testament theology within its larger Western context and to acknowledge the significance of John's word choice and the significance it would have had for its original audience. Some of those things, like justice or shame, we all share in the front of our minds, so to speak. Justice is central to who we are as people. So, for instance, Dave's wife, Carmel, is a 7th grade teacher for 6 or 7 years. She would always marvel at the sense of morality in 7th grade kids because they would feel so deeply affronted when something would happen that they didn't think was fair. And I think this is true everywhere. I mean, go to any playground, any preschool or elementary school in the country and watch for 5 to 10 minutes. You're going to see something happen where some little boy or some little girl will respond, "Hey, that's not fair." I mean, even on a very local, childish level, there's a sense and awareness of justice. So when we ask why people in other parts of the world are starving when we live in opulence, it's right to wonder why that's not fair. Not surprising, God placed a sense of this kind of justice in every one of us.